Hello and welcome to another episode of Moose's Gear Goo Review. I'm Moose, and today I'm finally getting around to some of the knives I did some unboxings to and some quick overviews to. And today I am doing a review of the USA Made Blades custom, or not custom, exclusive Knockout in M390. And here it is. And it is a beauty, and I am loving it so far. Just an excellent, excellent, cool knife. I'm glad USA Made Blade chose this model of Kershaw. This is definitely one of Kershaw's best models that they make, and the fact that they took this classic design in the Knockout and put some premium steel on it is just awesome. But let's get into the specs like usual. So first up, the length is 7.87 inches long. The blade length is 3.25 inches long. The blade thickness is 0.12 inches thick. The handle length is 4.625 inches long, and the handle thickness, which was a surprise to me. Like, I was really impressed with the thickness, and this might be it seems like it's even thinner than this, but it's 0.40 inches, which is pretty crazy because it seems so thin and so light in pocket. It's pretty awesome. Really like it. Other than that, it does have the black wash blade. Oh, and the weight on this bad boy is 3.8 ounces. As you can see right off the bat, I'll cover this first, is the Sasquatch approved emblem. This is more or less the reason why I pulled the trigger on this. You know, I'm a huge fan of Bigfoot, as you can see, and I think it's just awesome that USA Made Blade has a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot as part of their logo, so definitely am hooked on that. They got it tricked out and looking cool with this Sasquatch approved logo. There also is a little Sasquatch on the pivot pin there, and then even on the pocket clip we got a little Bigfoot guy there. As you can see, the US, made in the US, hence why it's is sold at USA Made Blades and so forth. Going and looking into this blade right now. As you can see, it has a really cool looking blade shape, kind of a drop point, but also a high saber grind. I've seen on some sites it's listed as a hollow grind. To me, it seems pretty flat, so it seems like a flat saber grind. It is a plain edge blade with a good amount of belly, and it does have a false edge or a swedge up there. That just makes this an excellent slicer. It is a wider blade as far as like this measurement that way, but it kind of just adds to the look and feel of the knife. It does have two large stepped thumb studs on either side, which make it really easy to deploy, as well as a flipper. It is you can deploy it with the thumb studs, or you can deploy it with the flipper. Either one. Typically I usually use the flipper, but you have either of those options. It is spring assist. As you can see, it says speed safe, Kershaw speed safe there, USA. So it is the spring assisted knife. The cool thing with the Knockout 2 was, I believe this is Kershaw's first model that has the knocked out sub frame lock, which is basically like a stainless steel frame lock piece that is integrated into the aluminum handle scale that provides the lockup for the knife. And it just works kind of like a frame lock, but because it isn't a full one piece of the frame, it's considered sub frame lock. It isn't milled out in any ways, but because it's so thin, it really hides the speed safe mechanism, as well as just keeps it super skinny and tight, and it fits really well in pocket. It is a 3-positionable pocket clip, so you have left, right, tip up carry as well as a right side tip down carry if you're interested in that. Now the pocket clip on this was one of my favorite things originally, as well as, oops, one of my biggest gripes about this knife, because I like the deep carry pocket clip. I believe it's the same clip that's like on the Kershaw Cryo, but that's the one thing that I feel like in this knife that I wish USA Made Blades would have tried to improve on. And it is deep carry, it is a fold over, as you can see, but it is so like narrow, and the hardware on this aren't flat and they don't recess in, so the hardware actually block the material of your pants from actually going all the way and making it as deep as possible. So you see that, and that's kind of a disappointment. I mean, I love the touch with the Bigfoot on there, and the Kershaw's fine. I don't really like painted pocket clips either because the paint will wear off. So anodized pocket clips are better in my opinion. But so specifically speaking, after the Knockout came out, the Kershaw Camber came out, and I feel like they improved on the pocket clip just by making it slightly bigger. And so then you can see there's actually more of a gap over those hardware. And I wish, if anything, they would have put the new Kershaw Camber pocket clip on there, because you can see how much more room it has for that. So that's one thing. Two, I wish the Barlow, I think it is, the Kershaw Barlow, has a pocket clip similar to the one that's on the Bug Out. And I wish they would have done something like this on this knife. So that's my one gripe. That's my one hang-up. I mean, even though they improved the steel, they actually put in a different texture pattern on the actual handle scales here. Which normally it doesn't have that. It usually has grooves that kind of swipe around and down. Besides improving on that and changing the color blue, which looks really nice, and putting a smoke wash blade on an M390, the pocket clip's the one thing I wish they would have done differently. As far as like uses and handling, this knife is very ergonomic. There is no jimping on it. It is slightly slick just because it is anodized aluminum, but the actual like contouring of it and stuff feels really good in hand, especially when you're in this thumb on spine grip like this. Great for carving. Like I said, this knife is just super sharp. It's great for even doing roll cuts with that belly. Works pretty well. So really like that. Great for slicing, good for food prep, package opening, and just EDC carry. It isn't terribly big. I've seen much bigger knives, but it is on the bigger side. So yeah, I mean, I can't say enough. You could definitely check the eye on the upper right-hand corner for my review of the Knockout when I did it originally. But the M390 is holding up fantastic. I haven't had to sharpen it yet, and I've been carrying it a fair amount and actually carrying it at work, which usually is the best test for my knives. The other thing that I wish they would improve on as far as the Knockout is just a slightly larger lanyard hole. I think by now it should just be kind of a standard that majority of the people that consider putting lanyards on will use 550 paracord, and so the diameter of the lanyard hole should be able to work with 550 paracord. So another improvement there. But other than that, still love this knife. Still just looks awesome and wicked, and it's definitely a classic, and I'm glad that they upgraded the steel. Plus the smoke wash looks sweet. So let's compare it to some other knives. We got the Spyderco Sage 5. The angle might not be the best for this. We have the Benchmade Griptilian. We have the Kershaw Blur. Actually, maybe I'll just squeeze them in there. And that's about it. So to me, this is like the bigger range. The blade length is over 3 inches. So that being said, let's compare the blade thickness. And this might be a little bit harder. Okay, so we got blade thickness, basically kind of similar designs between the Blur and the Knockout. So same blade thickness. The Knockout, or the Blur handle, is slightly larger. The Griptilian and the Knockout, the Griptilian handle is substantially larger. Blade thickness seems pretty similar as well. And then looks like the Knockout's actually slightly thicker than the Sage 5. And handle thickness is pretty similar as well. Alright, so there's that. As far as use, let's do the ugly brown glove test, which is a classic. Like I said on my live stream too, I might have to retire this just because that thumb is wearing out fast. So feels great in hand as well. There's pretty slick up top. There's no jimping. Is deployable opening, but a little slick, so it could be better. So yes, it kind of passes, but I'd give it like a C. C on the ugly brown glove test. Sorry, I'm speeding things up at the end here. Other than that, guys, just awesome knife. If you like the knife, definitely get it. Definitely add it to the collection. It does come in 3 different variations on the USA Made Blade website. It has all the handles are the same as far as the blue. They did customize some other ones besides the Sasquatch approved. They also did it with a USA flag motif across it, and then it also comes in a plain blade, satin blade with the handle scales, and that's the base price at like $100. This variation was about $109, I believe. So anywhere from like $100 to $112 for this model, and for an M390 knife, USA made, that's super good. You can't go wrong with it. So definitely check it out. Definitely check out USA Made Blades. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the other videos over here. Check the eye in the upper right hand corner. Thank you guys, and I'll see you outside.